Hey everyone, how are you doing today? I hope that you're having an absolutely wonderful day. Today is going to be speed reviews, product roundup. I've decided I want to really make sure and do more of these this year. And this first one is going to be a doozy because, as you guys know, if you've been following my channel, I purchased a lot of makeup at the the end of last year. Well, all these things I'm ready to give you the yay or nay on, and I decided that I want to arrange this video like Julia Adams does hers. Have you guys seen her videos? I highly recommend her. She's a very talented makeup artist and she's very sweet and also professional at the same time. I really like her videos. I'm gonna link her down below because I'm totally me copying her style of how I do this video. I'm going to arrange it in groups of things that I love, things that I like, and then things that I dislike. I just really like the way she arranges hers, so that's the way I'm gonna be doing it. Before I get started, I have to tell you about the tea of the day because you guys, it kind of blew my mind. So it's from this brand called Art of Tea, and this is their rose black tea. And I got this again as a sample in my latest Sips by box, and at first I was so annoyed to get rose in my box because I think I've updated my profile to where I don't want to get rose flavored teas. I really don't like them. I feel like they are typically very potpourri-ish and cloying and perfumey and honestly just kind of yucky. This one, I'm like, the second I opened it though and I could smell it, I was like, oh, I don't know what they did differently, but it even smelled higher quality. The rose just smelled really good, and I'm not usually a rose fan of the scent either. But that also translated into the flavor of the tea. It's very good. I highly recommend if you like rose. I think you would like this one. Okay, I have so many things to talk to you about. Let's get straight into these speed reviews and let's start with my first category, items that I love. So I'm trying to be really picky about the items that I put into this category. So that means that a lot of items are going into the like category. But let's get started right now on the products that I love. Let's start with something that I'm wearing, the blush that I'm wearing today. Undone Beauty. This is the shade Rosewood. I think that the little compact of this is really quite nice. You have a sheer blush, medium blush, and then a more opaque blush here on the bottom. I tend to mix the sheer and the medium together, and even that is actually quite pigmented. I almost went too heavy-handed today. I think what makes this blush extra special to me, why it ended up in the loves category versus likes, is the color. This is a wonderful color for me. This tends to be the color that I'm always kind of looking for in blushes. It has a bit of a terracotta, a bit of brown, and enough warmth in it to where if you're like me and you don't really like to wear a lot of bronzer, you prefer your warmth to come from your blush, oh, this is a really good one. It melts really nicely on the skin. It does have coconut oil in it, something to be noted. If you're a cream blush lover, if you enjoy cream blushes, I do recommend checking this one out. Another cream blush that, oh my goodness. Oh, I feel like I might be the last cream blush person on YouTube to try the Tower 28 cream blushes. They're very popular. I have the shade Magic Hour, and again, this made it into my loves category. I mean, the formula is nice. It's kind of emollient. I think it's between, like, I think it's more emollient than the Undone Beauty one, but not quite as soft and melty as like the Milani cream blushes. It's like somewhere in between there. But the reason why it made it into my loves is the color again. Oh, it's really nice. It's such a good color. Obviously, it's just because of my skin tone, my undertones, that is just a perfect everyday rosy nude blush on me. The second I started blending it into my cheeks, it was like, yes, oh yes, this is gonna be in the constant rotation. So again, very much and recommend this one. So crazily enough, I have a powder blush in my loves category, and it's a drugstore powder blush, which is even more interesting. So this is from Almay. This is the Nearly Nude shade in their Healthy Hue blush. I think this is one of those products where it's like a luxury product, but in drugstore packaging. It has nice drugstore packaging. It's cardboard, it has a little magnetic closure, which I like. I think that's cute. But the actual blush is a baked blush, and it has a very soft luminosity to it. So it's not like putting on a blush topper or a blush that's just way too shiny like a highlighter would be. It just has a really soft luminosity to it, and this color is a beautiful neutral. You'll see it's just like almost like a softer version of this one from Tower 28, and yet I think it has a little bit more warmth, more red in it than some of my other neutral blushes. So, oh my, I feel like the color in this is just perfect. Almay did great with this launch. I have not tried their other shades, and I probably won't just because I have a lot of blush, but I am so glad that I chose this shade. And if you're looking for a neutral blush at the drugstore with a little bit of luminosity, not a whole lot, very much I recommend this one. Something else I'm wearing, my lip product. So I have been, you know, sipping my tea, so the glossiness is mostly worn off, but this is from Colourpop. This is the Fresh Kiss Glossy Lip Stain. This is another product. I find that the products I'm putting in my loves category are the ones that the second I put it on, it's like, oh yes, I know I'm gonna love it. And it's because of the shade. You are probably going to notice a theme here. If I can pull off any sort of a warm lip color, it has to have enough brown in it, which this one does. The formula, if you've tried lip stains before, it's very similar. It's that thin, kind of watery texture. It takes a little bit to set down, which is nice. You can, you know, mess around with it to get it how you like, but eventually it will set, especially once you eat and drink and the gloss is kind of worn off, but the color is still there. Oh, this is really, really good. I forgot to say what shade this is. Sugar Snap. I feel like the lip stain does have a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of a stick to it, but nothing that makes it unpleasant to wear. One more lip product made it into my loves category. So Beauty Pie. If you guys haven't heard of Beauty Pie, it's like a beauty club. I am not a member. They had a day last month in December or November, I don't remember which month, where if you weren't a member, you could shop at their member prices. So I ordered a few things from them just to try it out. I'm actually considering becoming a member just to try their skincare. It looks lovely. But anyway, this is the Wondergloss Collagen Lip Oil, and I have the shade Nude Nectar. Okay, so I know it calls it a lip oil. To me, this is very, very much like a liquid lip balm type product. Like if you've tried the ones from Rare Beauty, this has that same like super nourishing, cushiony, kind of bouncy texture on your lips. And this one, Nude Nectar, I mean, it's just a nude, as you can see. Mostly sheer, but this is the type of product that adds that pretty glossy look, but is also very, very hydrating and nourishing. And for the price that members can get this for, I'm thinking, I don't know, $5 to $7, something like that. This is something that I would want to get the full range in. It is a really nice product, and this is something that I feel feels very, very high end. This, I think, very much, I recommend this. One more item from Beauty Pie ended up in my loves. So this is their eyeshadow stick. I can never remember exactly what they call these. It doesn't actually say it on the packaging, but I have the shade Brazillionaire. It feels nice, like it doesn't feel cheap, and it spreads beautifully. The color Brazillionaire, it's kind of a cool toned bronze. Oh, look at that, isn't that nice? But they blend so, so prettily. And I like it because, again, it has a nice soft luminosity to it, but you're not putting on something intensely metallic, which sometimes, you know, I like something that has just kind of a soft luminosity to it. But this blends just as nicely as my Laura Mercier caviar sticks. This is really, really nice. I have to talk about this. So Charlotte Tilbury, I have been wanting to try one of these for a really long time, but I always talk myself out of it because it's pricey. You guys know I love to try single shadows, and when I saw the price of this, and how much is it? Like $30, $32, something like that. I'm just like, that much for a single eyeshadow is wild. So my expectations in trying this were very high. When I try a luxe makeup product, I expect it to check all the boxes for me, and this does. For me. For my style of makeup. So I have the shade Oyster Pearl. First of all, the packaging is lovely. It feels nice and heavy. It has that kind of frosted glass look. The texture, the formula is just, ooh, it's just so delicious. I mean, don't eat it. But it's just kind of, I don't know, so yummy. It has a very, very, almost like whipped, super, super creamy formula. The color is perfect. It's not too warm, it's not too cool, and again, it has kind of a soft luminosity to it that makes your lid look ultra hydrated. I wanted to show just the effect that this had on my lid. It made my lid look hydrated and young and just really, really pretty. When I wear it with just regular eye primer, I feel like it lasts a good 5 or 6 hours on me without creasing. When it does crease, it's not bad, and I could just kind of tap it out. However, when I wear it with something like the Rimmel Wonder Cloud eyeshadows in the crease first and then put this on top of it, it does not crease on me, which Hooray, hurrah, right? For me, this was worth it, and I know not everyone would agree, especially since the shade is very, very similar to High Roller from Maybelline. It's just the texture is so beautiful, so lovely. It feels like a luxurious product when I use it. I don't feel gypped with this product. I'm very happy with it. Okay, so these next products, I didn't know whether to put them in my loves or in like an in-between category between loves and likes. I feel like, I don't know, I could go back and forth between whether I love them or I like them. In any case, I really, really like them, okay? So these are some palettes I tried. So this is from Persona. This is the Identity palette. And weirdly enough, this is one of those palettes that when I first looked at it, I didn't know where I wanted to go with the color story, like what I would put in my crease, what I would put in my lid, like I don't know. Now that I've played with it, I obviously know which colors I like to put together, but at first when I looked at it, I was just like, I don't know, I feel super, if I know what to do. And I was really intimidated by these rich looking mattes down here. I'm very happy to report that yes, they are pigmented, these mattes are and this matte, but they're very, very easy to work with, very blendy, they layer well on top of each other, they're easy to wear sheerly. You know how sometimes when something is so pigmented, it's almost like you can't just use a little bit, it's gonna be a wapow moment. If you're careful, you can use just a little bit of these and they blend out beautifully. I love the looks I was able to get with these. And the shimmers are the kind of shimmers that I like to wear on a daily basis, the kind that lay smoothly across your lid. They don't have a bunch of texture in them. They just create a very beautiful, beautiful, professional eyeshadow look. Where you're not necessarily trying to draw attention to yourself, but if someone was looking at your eye makeup, they'd be like, oh girl, your makeup is so nice. That's kind of this palette to me. I think I do have a picture of myself wearing this, and it was like the most basic look. I think I was using this shade up here called Seductive, which is a really pretty taupe. Quick layer that there. Yeah, that's the shade I was wearing on my lid. I mean, just look, you can obviously see the shades that I am drawn to. That is such a gorgeous shade. I'm really happy I picked this up. I got it on sale, which I do recommend people, if you're like me and you like to try a variety of eyeshadow palettes, try and get it on sale. I mean, this is one of those palettes where it could be like the only one in my collection and I would be fine with it. Like, it's just really, really nice that way. But if you're an eyeshadow palette collector, just wait till it goes on sale. It is a bit pricey, but it's worth it, I feel. Also, in my really, really love category are the Tarte palettes that I tried. So let's start with this one. The Little Juicy, no, this isn't the Little Juicy, it's just the Juicy palette. This particular size of the Juicy palette has been discontinued and there's a smaller, I don't know what you call it, a midi size out now, but they have a lot of the same shades in them. I do have a picture, I believe, of myself wearing this palette, and the shade that I'm wearing in that picture is this shade right here called Wildflower. I find the Tarte formula to be very agreeable. This was my first time trying them. I also have the In Bloom palette, and I loved it. I thought that the mattes were pigmented. I mean, if you're looking for pigment, you're not going to be upset with these palettes in any way. I haven't tried other ones from Tarte, but these Tartelette palettes have good pigment. They blend so good. They blend so well. And again, they have that really, really nice texture of shimmer that lays down nicely across the lid. There are a couple of shades in the Juicy that I do believe are in the new one. This one called Shine and this one called Dawn, that have a little bit more texture to them, a little bit more kind of a glittery effect, whereas these other ones are more of their smooth shimmer formula. Just putting that out there in case you're wondering, but I'm a fan. This is the type of eyeshadow I like. Okay, let's move into the likes category. Things that I like, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I love. So let's start actually with the eyeshadow palette that I'm wearing on my eyes today. This is from Dominique Cosmetics, and I tried this palette from BoxyCharm, and I really like the color story. I can't comment at all on the pastel shades over here because I haven't used them. I have just been using these here, and I did dip into this white one over here, but mostly just these. So I don't know if you can tell looking at my lid, but the shimmers actually have a little bit more of bigger pieces of glitters in them, and they're still not glitters, but you know, the bigger sparkles, which I find to be very, very pretty on the lid. I mean, I have to admit, it's really, really pretty, but the problem that I have with those, even when I just press with my finger and versus swiping, I still end up with those kind of more chunky particles under my face, under my eyes. In fact, now you might not be able to see, I can tell when I look in the mirror that I already have pieces of glitter under my eyes that I didn't mean to put there. So in order for that not to happen with these three shimmers, I'm probably going to have to use a glitter glue, which isn't my favorite step to have to do, especially with a palette. I feel like if I'm using a special single shadow, I don't mind so much, but with a palette, it's just an extra step that isn't my favorite. So that's why this is in the likes category for me versus the loves. But the actual colors, really, really pretty. And the mattes, very blendy. Today I am wearing Cafecito. I'm probably pronouncing it incorrectly, on my outer corner and kind of blended through the crease. Cafe con leche I used all through my like transition area. Then I put Drizzle tapped on the center of my lid and Frappe on the inner corner. So I've only used this for a couple of looks, but I've had the same issues each time with the fallout. So beautiful color story, just not my ultimate favorite formula, you know? Something else in my like category was the Bare palette from Profusion. This is a very agreeable palette, you guys. My Walmart does not have Profusion. I had to go to a different Walmart to get to, you know, see the palettes in person and pick one out to try. I think that I really like their mattes versus their shimmers. The shimmers are fine. These actually aren't shimmers. This is like their satin formula, which I do think that they're pretty, but in my mind, actually, the reason to try Profusion is their mattes. I really thought they blended beautifully. And this type of color story, very warm, not something I really have in my collection. So I'm happy to have it from Profusion. Goodness, if I can talk. I do have another one from them, the Nudes, which is another one that has a lot of warm shades in it. This one does have the shimmer formula, and I find the shimmer formula to be really nice. It's kind of a thin formula, which is nice if you're trying to avoid something that's really thick and chunky on your eyelids. I think they're really nice. Initially, when I bought these, I was not going to keep both of them because they are so similar to each other. I mean, they're both very warm, neutral palettes. And I was going to give one to my sister. But lately, she's been having issues with makeup bothering her skin. So I don't know if she'll even want it. I'll hang on to it for the moment. I'll hang on to both for the moment. But I do like them. Something else that I like is this concealer palette from Undone Beauty. This is the Conceal to Reveal palette. I have the shade Cream Light. I am wearing this under my eyes today, and under my eyes it reminds me a lot of the Glossier Stretch Concealer, which I also love. So the only reason why I don't love this as much as my Glossier Stretch is that sometimes I feel like it doesn't play well with other products. I haven't quite nailed down what it is, but when I've used this on my face to cover up blemishes, sometimes it almost gets, I don't even want to use the word curdly looking, but that's kind of all that's coming to mind right now. It's like it separates. And I don't know if it's because of like the coconut oil in it or what. I notice it especially when after I use a face spray or something, suddenly this spot will appear where I had put this and it will just look very separated and weird looking. So I don't really like this on my face unless I'm just using this. I'm a big fan of just using concealer to conceal certain areas and then going foundation free. I feel like it's a nice way to treat your skin if you can. So I like this for that. But otherwise, I'll mostly just stick to it under my eyes. It does have the whole sheer medium full coverage, which I tested that and I did feel like that was well labeled. I felt like this was pretty good coverage down here. Landing in my like category. I have a couple of blushes to talk about. So I tried I tried the cream blush from Beauty Pie. So I have the shade Bare Blush, and you guys know how much I love cream blush. And I think the only reason this isn't in my loves, I don't know, maybe it's just the mood that I'm in. It has a very, very beautiful, I find the texture difficult to compare because it's emollient, but not in the sense of the Milani. It's almost got a little bit fluffiness to it, but it's not like a fluffy, moussey texture. Kind of hard to describe, but it is a beautiful pigmented blush. This is the shade Bare Blush, and it is a beautiful matte blush. It blends out beautifully. I just didn't have that wow factor, you know? I like the shade. It just didn't wow me like some of the other ones do, but I'm happy to have this in my stash. I think it's a beautiful product. Also in my light category, this one from Rare Beauty. So I've had this one for a little while. I've been testing it. This is one of those blushes that people either seem to love it or hate it. Like even some of my favorite creators who I thought would really like this didn't, which I just found interesting. So obviously adorable packaging. I mean, they really, really killed it with the packaging. It looks like a little pat of butter, a little Polly Pocket. It's just so adorable. The formula, again, is a matte formula, actually. It feels nice and melty when you put your finger into it. And when you put it on your cheeks, it dries down to like a powder finish. This is the shade Nearly Neutral, which I really, really enjoy this shade. I personally have found the best way to use this is with a brush, and I think maybe that's why it might be my like category versus loves. I like to apply cream blushes with my fingers if I can. I don't know, I just like the process. I get a much more even application of this when I use a brush, and actually a lot more pigmented. In fact, there was one time where I knew that this was kind of a sheer blush, so I was not thinking, and I kind of put my brush in there and put it on. I was like, whoa, and I actually had way too much pigment. So it's possible to do that even with this sheer blush. So like it, not obsessed with it. Okay, one eye product. I could not decide whether to put this in my loves or my likes. I really enjoy this. This is from KVD. This is the Dazzle stick. These go in and out of stock, and I have heard they're kind of up in the air. Like, does anyone know if these are being discontinued or what? They're really hard to find. I have the shade Flash Storm. This is such a beautiful product. It's very wet feeling when you put it on. Like, it's super, super creamy. It has a high metallic finish, but it also has beautiful sparkles in it. This is the type of thing where if you're just wearing an eye look and you just want a little something, you can just kind of get this on your finger, tap it on your lid, and then you've got the something. It's very, very pretty. And I find I don't get fallout with this, which is not something that happens to me often. I find that fallout is one of my #1 issues. Glitter everywhere. This stays on my eyelid nicely, so I really like this. Okay, lip products. So I tried this from YSL. This was sent to me from Influenster for free, for review. I was just so mind blown. I was like, oh my goodness, because I've never tried anything from YSL. You can tell it's a luxe product. It feels really nice and heavy. The component is beautiful. This is the Volupte Shine, I think, Rouge Volupte Shine. And this is the shade 153, Rose Dentelle. And it is a sheer melty lip balm formula. And I think I would probably like it even more if it was just a color that I could use more often. For me, this is more of a, it's a pink shade. It's very, actually quite nice. I'll put up a picture of myself wearing it, but it's just a shade that I would likely wear more at a very specific time of year with a very specific makeup look. It's just not an everyday color for me, which keeps it from being a love. But the formula is really, really nice. The scent is slightly fruity. Very pleasant. Okay, so here's something completely different. This is from Undone Beauty, and the only reason I didn't like this more was because of the shade. I have the shade Velveteen, and again, this turned out to be just so pink. I tried this in my Undone Get Ready With Me, and it was just, I feel, the wrong shade for me. In order to make that shade work, I feel like I'd have to have a very specific makeup look going on, and I wasn't wearing it that day, and I felt like it really just clashed. The actual formula is a really pretty sheer matte. It's very nice, and it doesn't have any sort of a smell that I can smell anyway. So I just wish I had gotten a different color, but I like the formula. This was the Matte Talk product from Undone Beauty. Okay, just a few more products in the light category, and then we're getting to my dislikes. Okay, so I tried the Hydrating Core Lip Shine from e.l.f. I have the shade, it's written here on the bottom, the shade Ecstatic. So this is actually quite nice product. So you can see the product on the outside, and then on the inside there's a little heart with like a lip balm type formula. This is a very sheer color. Can build it up to get more color. I mean, you saw how many times I was running that back and forth across my wrist, but I just kind of like the sheer wash of color. I think it's really, really nice. And I've seen this in lists as a dupe for Clinique Black Honey, which I currently don't have in my collection. So I can't comment on that, but I can tell you that I thought this was a really pretty sheer lipstick. I've been kind of into the whole sheer lipstick, tinted lip balm type product lately, and I think this is nice. I think e.l.f. did a good job with these. Let's see, scent. Kind of a faint berry scent, but nothing intense. From Flower Beauty, I have their lip mask in the shade Sangria. So I really like this, but I was disappointed at how little product I get. It's one of those products where it pushes up the product. It's not a very large product, and look, there's only that much product in there. I was really surprised. The actual product is fun. It comes out like this. You squeeze it and it comes out little holes. There, you see how it comes out? So that's fun. And I do find it to be a nice hydrating lip balm type product. And even though it looks kind of crazy in the tube, it's mostly sheer. So that's it right there. It barely tints your lips. This is the type of product I really enjoy, especially in the winter time. I love barely there tinted product like this. I was just disappointed at how little product you get, especially the box was kind of big. And so when I pulled this out, I was like, oh. One more lip product from Undone Beauty. So this is the Big Papa lip gloss in the shade Watercolor Rose. I really like this. The only thing that keeps it out of my loves is that I think I like the whole lip balm type formula, liquid lip balm formula more. So just a regular gloss like this will always be in my likes categories because I mean, I really, really enjoy gloss. But this shade, oh, I love it. I was looking at someone else reviewing this and they hated the watermelon smell. To me, it's not too intense. I really enjoy it. And the shade, again, is mostly sheer with just a slight pink wash. It does have a nice big applicator on it, which, you know, many of us enjoy. So I like it. I think it's a nice gloss. Okay, we are finally to my dislike category. So something that almost made it to the like category is this item from Kosas. So I've been trying this out for quite a long time. I finally have my thoughts together on it. This is the tinted face oil. So when I first put this on, I don't like it. It is exactly what it says it is, a tinted face oil. You get only a few drops because that's actually enough product. It will spread all over your face very nicely. Initially, when I first put it on, I find that it catches on dry patches, especially around my mouth, which I didn't enjoy. And I also felt like it didn't like set down. So if I rubbed here, I would all of a sudden have like a smear of oil. Like I just didn't like how that looked. However, once I got it rubbed in how I liked and then went on with my day, I felt like at the end of the day, my face looked really good. The oil made my face look nice and hydrated. I didn't feel like it was too dewy of a product. I feel like that they did that nicely. It's not too glowy, even though it is an oil. My problem with it is that it makes me break out. I finally figured that out. It does indeed, so I can't wear it, which I'm honestly a little bit bummed about because I really did like how it wore. I thought it looked good. One of those products that looks better and better the longer you wear it, at least for me. This is such an interesting product. I really want to find someone to give it to. I'm not sure who in my life would appreciate this, but I'm going to try and find someone because it just didn't work for my skin. My skin, too much hydration makes it freak out. I just can't do it. But overall, I don't think it's a bad product. Not a perfect product, but not a bad product. Something that I didn't like from Undone Beauty, I don't think I'm gonna get rid of this right away. I might try it again in the summer just to see if I can tolerate the shade. So this is the Water Bronzer. I think it's such a fun concept. It looks very, very dark. It has kind of a cooling water sensation when you would apply. I'm trying to find a clean spot to put it on. But the problem with this was the shade. It is so orange, and I typically like a cool toned bronzer in myself, or if it has any warmth in it, it needs to be, you know, not really crazy orange, and this is pretty orange. I found that when I blended it out, I didn't really like how it looked. I mean, I tried it several times. This is the shade Baked, by the way. So I feel like if someone already has more tan skin, they might enjoy trying this one. I'm gonna hold on to it, like I said, a little bit longer, try it in the summertime, see if that changes my opinion. But for now, I don't really like it. Something that I will be decluttering is this Colourpop sticks. This is the eyeshadow stick. It's in the shade Warm Up and it's in the metallic formula. This is a really pretty shade and I feel like it looks so much nicer swatched on my hand than it actually does on my eye. That's it right there. I found that on my eye, it did not blend. It was not creamy. I actually had the point where I was trying to hold my eyelids still while trying to draw it on because I felt like it tugged my eyelids back and forth so badly. I've heard some people say they like the matte formula of these. I haven't tried the matte, just this metallic shade, and it's a big no from me. Holy cow, that was like a marathon. I have finished. If you have tried any of these products, make sure and let me know down below your opinion. I love to hear what people think of the same products I'm trying out. Thank you very much if you watched to the end of the video. It really helps me out on my channel. Thank you very much. I love you. Thank you. I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.